Shalom. This is Mary Omni from the World Government House of King David, Holy Covenant Constitutional Enforcer. I'm the woman of Galatians 4:4 and the woman of Revelations 12. Please refer to your Bible. And all I ask you to do is consider that I am who I say I am. I'm the mother of the New Jerusalem, and I'm the mother that gave birth to newborn King Emmanuel, February the 15th, 2011. This is a Republic notice. Warning: many Israelites will not make it into the kingdom. This is a Republic notice. Many Israelites will not make it into the kingdom. It's 2013, March, and many people are starting to feel an awakening. Many people are starting to feel they're holy. Many people are starting to feel that they have authority. Many people are starting to feel that they're the only ones with the true knowledge. Many people are starting to feel, come my way or take the highway. But here's the truth. The truth is the old saying, and this is how the old saying goes. Many are called, but few are chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. Now, look at that many are called and few are chosen, and consider this. Many are being called, and they are being awakened to a certain extent. And the extent that they are being awakened is for examination. The kingdom of the holy government is examining their heart, their mind, their body, their soul, their spirit, their intentions in a beginning awakening state. Okay? They're under examination. They are beginning to awake for examination and examination only. They're not awakening because they are automated into the kingdom. They are awakened to see in a slightly awakened state what their intentions are. Because if you're totally asleep, then an assessment of your intentions cannot be obtained. But if you're awoken enough to assess your intentions, then we can obtain where you're going in a slightly awakened state, so that the holy kingdom can then decide whether or not you should be fully awakened or whether or not you are just one of the many that's called but will never be chosen. Now, let's look at this. The argument over natives, Israelites, Hispanic Israelites, Black Israelites, different Hebrew Israelite temples and churches arguing my way or the highway. All the childish arguments in this awakening state are children arguing. The Most High said, come to me as a child. So he knows you're going to be in a childish state. So right now, many of us is in a state of a 2-year-old. We all arguing in a slightly awakened state. Enough awakened state to know that we have a history of being part of the holy kingdom. And that's the state you're being awakened to, and understanding that you have a history of being part of the holy kingdom. Does not mean that you will be chosen for the kingdom come. Because the history of the holy kingdom means somewhere you were part of the people who failed, who are the fallen, and you are the fallen for a reason. So you didn't fall because you were holding on to the laws of the commandments. You fell because you didn't hold on to the commandments. So the state that you're awakening in is to know you're historically was part of that history. But that is not a guarantee in the kingdom come. You may be waking up to be assessed so you can be weeded out. Many, and I can say almost the majority of you will be weeded out. You will be still arguing when these tanks move in on you and blow your ass to smithereens, to be frank. Okay? So, I had to come to the assessment where I had to look, because, this insistence that Hispanics and natives are Israelites, and the people not pushing the Falashas, or the people that's still in the Middle East or in four corners of the world, the Hebrew Israelites in France, the Hebrew Israelites in Britain, the Hebrew Israelites in Jamaica, the Hebrew Israelites in Swaziland, the Hebrew Israelites that may be in four corners of the earth. These Judah men wanted to push these Hispanics. So that made me automatically, before I just wrote them off in general, wanted to inspect who they are, because I say in general, they're not Hebrew Israelites. In general, they are not Hebrew Israelites. Now, because we know a lot of these Hispanics are Caucasian colonialists. And another thing we know is the blacks in Angola are Hamitic, and they have Hispanic surnames such as Rodriguez and Lopez, and they're Hamites. So that don't make them in general a Hebrew Israelite. Also in Mozambique, the colonialists conquered Mozambique and gave them all Hispanic surnames. So you can't say these Hamites is automatic Hebrew Israelites. So, and then some people say, well, we know these Hispanics were born on boats in slavery and this and that and the other. So they have to be part of, the native culture of the red and the black and the Hebrew Israelites. And what I'm saying to you is there's only one thing that you should keep in mind that matters. You can call yourself an Israelite all day, all night, all long, all over the world. But are you of the covenant? Because many will not make it to the kingdom. The majority will not make it to the kingdom. The majority will not make it to the covenant. See, many will be called, but few will be chosen. Because those souls that caused the fall will be the souls that's excluded in this kingdom, because a fall will never happen again. Because the kingdom of David will be everlasting, which means that there will be no souls in there. There will be no souls in there that will cause this kingdom to fall. The kingdom will never fall again. And there will be no souls that caused the fall of the first one that will be allowed to enter into this kingdom. Okay? Covenant. The covenant. Now, a lot of people don't understand. In a lot of my videos, I point out the Judah men, and I warn the Judah men, because they're the scepter holders and they're the 15th New Jerusalem wall. And in pointing out the Judah men, some people might get the idea that I have thrown away all Judah men. That is far from the truth. Many are called, but few are chosen. We have a good few Judah men who are the called and chosen. That is on that 15th Jerusalem wall. That is enough to take us into the kingdom to come of King David, everlasting kingdom. And we're way ahead of the game, because Noah only started on that boat with 8. We got thousands and thousands of righteous, holy Judah, God, Manuesan men ready for the kingdom. Okay? This is why I can point out the dirty ones, because the real ones do exist, and I know the difference. A lot of the real ones was part of my raising and development. So I want to say to this, all you calling yourself Hebrew Israelites need to know, if you're not part of the covenant, and just because you're called, don't make you a part of the kingdom. Okay? So you got to be called and be kingdom worthy, and then be part of the covenant, because the covenant is rare. The covenant status is rare. It's not an easy task. It's a very, very narrow path that only a few can walk and cut the mustard on, okay? And even some of the Judah men who I warn, they can't cut the mustard. They in low frequency. They on the sidelines outside the Jerusalem wall hollering hate epitaphs for Satan. Their minds is full of Dracon control, because they didn't use their heart intelligence and their soul intelligence, and they fought their own redemption. They cannot be redeemed but through the Judah woman. They cannot be redeemed but through the Judah woman. That woman's seed in the beginning is the woman's seed in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. And the woman's seed is the woman who Christ, the Messiah, was born through. And then we look at Galatians 4:4. But when the proper time had fully come, God sent forth his son, born of a woman, born subject to the regulations of the law. Galatians 4, verse 5. To purchase the freedom of, to ransom, to redeem, atone for those who were subject to the law, that we might be adopted and have sonship conferred upon us and be recognized as God's sons. So this is for any man who think they have an automated to the kingdom that's not Judah, or that's not with a Judah woman and having children by a Judah woman. If you're not with a Judah woman or having children by a Judah woman like President Obama, okay, you are not automated to the kingdom. You have to be adopted. Ephraim's sons are adopted. They started off in an adopted manner because Jacob put his hand on Ephraim's head and he adopted Ephraim and Manasseh. So that means he adopted to open adoption of Gentiles, which are the holy consenting Ephraim heirs, to share the covenant with the holy non-consented Judah heirs. Now, I already told you in Galatians 4:4, let me read again. But when the proper time had fully come, God sent forth his son, born of a woman, born subject to the regulations of the law. That means the woman is the law. So if you think you're going to get behind this Judah woman's scepter and get into the holy kingdom, if you think you're going to trample her or put her aside or have a replacement theology for her and get into the holy kingdom, then your head is buried in your ass drum, okay? Therefore, anyone calling themselves Ephraim and can prove they're Israelite of the past, or anyone calling themselves any tribe, any of the 12 tribes, and can prove they're Israelite of the past, if you're not understanding that Judah scepter woman is your ticket and your key to the holy kingdom, then you're not one of the chosen. You're one of the called that's being awakened to say you have a history, and you may be able to pull up artifacts that you have a history. And that's only because you're called. But only the chosen will come through that woman. Okay, it's called the bride of Christ. And she closes the book of life in Revelations 22. And she says, if you change any of the words, you'll be written out. See, she has the last word. She is the one chosen in the beginning. She is the one which the Christ seed come through. And she's the one when Galatians 4:4 said, when the time is fulfilled, God sent forth his son. God sent forth his son, born of this woman, to come under the law and regulations. If it's born from this woman under the law and regulations, then if you want to go to the kingdom, you got to go through this woman, like it or not. So it's a funny joke when you see all these so-called Israelites thinking they're going to make their own besides this woman, or even Judah males standing on corners thinking they're going to put down this woman and make it. They're not nothing but, they might as well be a hamster with their head rolling in their behind, twisting around in circles, because that's all they look like to the kingdom. Okay, so in closing, many are called, but few are chosen. That means it is futile to argue with who a Hebrew Israelite is. I don't care if you're Hispanic, Native. I don't care if you're black in four corners of the world. You're not automated into the kingdom until you proclaim Judah and the Judah woman in which the Messiah came through. Otherwise, you're just called, but you will never, ever be chosen. So call yourself all you want to and stay in your delusion. This is Mary Omni from the house of King David. Shalom.